I was raised on a small farm near St. Louis, Missouri, and when I went on to college and to graduate school, I began taking some classes that were related to agriculture, and I realized that I wanted to get back into it. And I once heard a phone conversation down in the herbarium at MSU, and it was from an extension educator who was seeking some information about plant identification. And I had enough background at that point to know that I could have answered that question. And then I began to look into it, and there were a lot of things I could have been useful with. I had a lot of classwork and a lot of botany and zoology and related sciences, and it fit perfectly with my education and what I wanted to do.
Hannah Stevens' first job with MSU Extension was a vegetable educator in Macomb, St. Clair, and Lapeer counties. And as she puts it, it's where she was lucky enough to stay. The variety of commodities grown in southeast Michigan were always a draw to Hannah Stevens. It meant not only getting familiar with many different crops, but it meant getting to know many different growers as well. One in particular is George Van Hootie of Armada. He and Hannah work closely together on integrated pest management.
We crossed paths here maybe about 25 years ago, and and she was always coming on out there setting up traps for corn borer, for sweet corn, and among other things, and any kind of problems those guys arise on the farm there, where we kind of called her up and got her input and everything on it, Then we end up running some trials over here, sweet corn trials. We did some trials on the flea beetles. Found out a lot more about the flea beetles than what we probably would like to know about them, We're running now without an extension agency. It's kind of tough. People, all the farmers are calling each other up, but she is missed now, since our county took extension agency away from us.
Over the years, she'd become well known for the grower meetings she'd hold. Getting farmers together to share information about ever-increasing challenges of resistant weeds, new fungi, insects, and bacterial strains was something she was good at.
I think what Hannah did was bring university, farm, and industry all together for the common good of the grower. For Hannah, it isn't just, she's not just, she's our extension person. She's been a good friend, as well as very interested in what farmers do in total. In every time we have a vegetable and fruit meeting, Hannah was always part of it. And the things that Hannah brought to the table were, Hannah was concerned about labor issues, environmental issues, about a broad scope of things that affect farmers. If there was a new insect or a new disease showing up, why, Hannah would have some experts from the university, and everybody would know what was going on or what was happening.
Hannah Stevens is retired now, but in the years leading up to it, she made sure to pass on to those who would follow the importance of getting to know the growers, not just what they grow.
Let's see, I met Hannah about 5 or 6 years ago when I first arrived at MSU. She was an extension educator, and one of my favorite things to do as I was getting settled into my position was to travel with Hannah to visit vegetable growers in her area. Of course, Hannah is incredibly affable, real people person, so it was always a good experience for me to travel around and get to know the grower community through someone like her with such a good relationship with growers.
Hannah's daughter wrote on Facebook that her mother's taking to retirement like a duck to water, and though that may be the case, the growers in southeast Michigan are never far from her mind.
I'd like to see, in terms of the education that they get and the learning that they have, I hope that we're able to serve them in Michigan as well as we have in the past. But I also see resources coming in from other states, so the Great Lakes states, that can also help and help that education process and the research process continue.
For her 30 years of dedication to the growers of southeast Michigan, Hannah Stevens is the Michigan Vegetable Council's winner of the Master Farmer Associate Award for 2012.